Right, everyone. So this is a crazy article. This is from Wrestling News titled Vince McMahon rumored to be in talks with Fox for his new wrestling company. So the article is citing the podcast with 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff and then the host Conrad Thompson. So we're going to read the transcript that Wrestling News put out. This is from Thompson. You mentioned earlier there's been a lot of speculation, lots of rumor and innuendo about Vince McMahon starting a company. Should I say the quiet part out loud? There's been a lot of whispers. You've heard some of the same things that I have. I don't know what's real and what's not, but allegedly, Vince McMahon's people have made contact with people who have experienced shooting wrestling, maybe a cameraman. And allegedly, I don't know if this is real or not, but the rumor mill, the whispers say perhaps Fox is holding a spot. Wow. And I think to myself, that doesn't sound real. That sounds like bullshit. And as my dad would say, I found myself watching the Super Bowl on Sunday and my phone starts blowing up. Vince McMahon is at the Super Bowl. And I'll say to myself, when is the last time I remember seeing Vince McMahon in a football game for a league he didn't own? I don't remember ever seeing or hearing that. And wait a minute, was the Super Bowl on Fox? Because I think it was. Now, I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying we've heard rumors that Vince has a studio and that he's hired a bunch of former WWE executives. And then we're hearing rumors that he's had conversations with cameramen who have experience shooting wrestling, which seems awfully specific. And if he's just shooting traditional entertainment, why do you need a wrestling cameraman? And we're hearing, well, maybe he's got a good spot with Fox. And that sounds like bullshit. They just got out of the WWE business. And besides, Fox doesn't even own to be which is going to air Evolve. That's a WWE product. It can't be. Wait a minute. Are you saying Vince was that a Fox ran Super Bowl? I don't know. Eric, what you say? Is there smoke to this fire, or are people trying to will all of us this in and try to put on their tinfoil hats? Where do you land on all of this, Eric? And then Bischoff said, I've heard some things, and maybe I've even remembered to share with you another bigger remember to share it. But yeah, little bits and pieces, comments here or there that kind of make you go. But part of that is because I want to go. What if? Because hey, it's fun, but I just don't see it. There's too many things that make sense in this rumor. Makes sense you've connected some dots that are definitely dots and worthy of connectivity, but it's not the complete picture because there's a couple of things that would have to happen that I just can't imagine happening. Thompson, I can't either. I can't imagine that it's real, but we just keep hearing these whispers in the background. And hey, did you hear? And it's like, if I'm Vince McMahon, this would be the last thing I would be interested in. Bischoff, you're not Vince McMahon, and neither am I, which is one of the reasons why I think it's a possibility. It's one of those dots. Remember when I say there's dots here? He's going to take a lot of dots, got to connect them all. Well, the first big dot, like the starting is Vince McMahon. Would he really want to do this? Fuck yeah. Doesn't mean he can pull it off, or he would allow himself to try, necessarily make the decision to try. But in terms of what he would want to do, because he's not going to, he could have a really cool yacht. He could be. He could have his own little island down in Bohemia or wherever else he wanted an island. He could live an amazing life and never have to experience one moment of stress again. And he ain't going to do that. He might do that. I would definitely do that. He's not going to do that. I don't care if he's 98. If he's still drawing breath, he's going to be driven to conquer something. Here's the missing link for me, Conrad, to be just really blunt about it. Do I really believe there's a scenario where Fox Network would lay down that big of a bet on another wrestling company? I just can't wrap my head around that part. Thompson, I can't either. If it didn't work with WWE, why would make me think it would work with a startup like now? Granted, they were looking for a return on investment and maybe it's going to be much more affordable now. Bischoff. Now, this is another dot I could connect. What if Fox is a partner and not a distribution partner? What if they're building their own version and they're going to own it? They're going to own it and they're going to have it internet. I'm not there yet because that's a giant freaking leap, but I'm not going to totally discount it either. Thompson. That's what's fun about wrestling. You know what's possible? That is right now probably the biggest what if, and almost all of us would say, what are the odds that's going to happen? I've got a two-screen experience going on right now, and Linda McMahon is in her confirmation hearing for Secretary of Education right now, and she's going to get, and never did I imagine that would be happening right now. Either we're in some sort of alternate timeline simulation right now. Anyways, so we'll keep our fingers crossed that, I mean, listen, I, for one, hopeful there might be another major professional wrestling spinoff, or, I mean, startup. That would be fucking awesome. So that's the full transcript of that little podcast segment. And I don't know what they would actually do. I do think the idea of an all internet wrestling company started by Vince. I mean, I think people would be down for it. Something that's much more, because that's one thing you got to give credit to WWE for is they own the internet, unlike any of the other sports leagues in a lot of ways. Like their ability to use social media and use YouTube in a way that a lot of these other places don't use to the same extent. I think they're phenomenal at it. And so if you could take that and you could just put it on YouTube as it is, you might be saving yourself some money. I just don't know how he gets the talent. That's my thing is, and sure, I mean, you're going to get wrestlers, but it's the same problem you have with all these NFL competitors, right? The problem with all the NFL competitors has been you're not going to get the talent that you're getting in the NFL. And the same thing would be with this is there's just no way you're going to get those top tier guys, and that's going to be tough to compete with something like WWE. Even with all the money Vince has, you're just not going to be able to do it. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.